All right, we made it to Christmas Eve. We finished the Old Testament. We are in Matthew chapter 1 in the New Testament. Hope you guys are having a great Christmas Eve. It is freezing outside. Well, it's only 49 degrees, but I'm a Texan, so it's pretty cold for us. But let's jump into it. This is like the boss level for me, because if you've been following along, you know biblical names and pronunciations of those. Not my forte or strong suit. And we're going through the genealogy, so that'll be fun. It is actually fascinating and interesting. You'll just have to bear with me. All right, let's get started. Picking up in verse 1, the genealogy of Jesus Christ. The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David and the son of Abraham. And Abraham was the father of Isaac, and Isaac was the father of Jacob, and Jacob the father of Judah, his brother. Easy so far. Judah the father of Perez, and Zahah by Tamar, and Perez the father of Hezron, and Hezron the father of Ram, and Ram the father of Abinadab, and Abinadab the father of Nashton, and Nashton the father of Salmon, and Salmon the father of Boaz by Rahab. There's a story about that. And Boaz the father of Obed by Ruth, and Obed the father of Jesse, and Jesse the father of David the king. And David was the father of Solomon by the wife of Uriah. And Solomon was the father of Rehoboam, and Rehoboam the father of Abijah, and Abijah the father of Aspham, and Aspham the father of Jehoshaphat. Why did I stumble on that one? That was like one of my favorite ones. Jehoshaphat, duh. Jehoshaphat, the father of Joram, and Joram, the father of Uzzah, Uzziah, the father of Jotham, and Jotham, the father of Asher. I think it's Asher. No, it's Azah. Azah, the father of Hezekiah, and Hezekiah, the father of Manasseh, and Manasseh, the father of Amos, and Amos, the father of Joseph. Joseph, Josiah. Josiah was the king too, the boy king. Josiah, the father of I remember this one. Jechoam, and the brother at the time of the departure of Babylon. And after the departure of Babylon, Noam was the father of Shealtiel, the father, that's not it, I mispronounced that one, Zerubbabel. I love Zerubbabel's name. Zerubbabel, the father of Abiadam, the father of Eliakim, the father of Asher, and Asher, the father of Zakdok, and Zakdok, the father of Achim, and Achim, the father of Iglum, and Iglum, the father of Elazar, Elzar, and Elzar, the father of Mathan, the father of Jacob, and Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, whom Jesus was born, who is called Christ. Whew. All right. I'm sorry for that, and I'll get better. Jesus, who is called Christ. So all the generations of Abraham to David were 14 generations. From David to the deportation of Babylon, 14 generations. From the departure of Babylon to Christ, 14 generations. There you go. We made it through the genealogy of Jesus Christ. And some key highlights is it follows those stories, and it does mention some of the women too, of note, like Ruth, Tamar. What's the other one? I know it's right up here too. Of Rahab. And then yeah, there's Ruth. So yeah, definitely has that story that just boom, boom, boom. And Zerubbabel, we were just reading about him during the rebuilding period too. But let's continue on. The birth of Jesus Christ. Now, the birth of Jesus took place in this way. When his mother Mary had betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be with child from the Holy Spirit. And her husband Joseph, being a just man and unwilling to put her to shame, resolved to divorce her quietly. But as he considered these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, do not fear to take Mary as your wife, for which she is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. So that's always interesting. I know that it kind of gets like swept under the rug that like Mary is pregnant and is still a virgin, and Joseph doesn't believe her. And I mean, like, honestly, who would? That's a once in a world generation event that occurs right here. And Joseph's just like, she's pregnant, just like, oh yeah, it's the Holy Spirit, it was an angel, a vision and stuff. It's like, all right, you're crazy. Like, Joseph's probably thinking he got cheated on and stuff like that, but still being such a just and righteous man that he didn't want to put her to shame and like be petty and go like tit for tat. Really, it even says too, like, put to shame, but like back then, adulterers that were caught, they were killed. So that's very interesting to see that Joseph, being such a just man, to do that. And like you may think like, oh, that's extreme, but like if you put yourself in his situation, like I think it becomes a lot more understanding. Like, what would you do in that situation? But of course, the angel comes down, clears everything up. So now Joseph knows everything, and he then believes. The angel says to Joseph, she will bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord has spoken by the prophet. Behold, and this is the quote of the prophet, behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. When Joseph woke from sleep, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded him. He took his wife, but knew her not until she gave birth to a son, and called his name Jesus. So the most of that chapter is the genealogy, which I heavily struggled with. But at the very end, you have this really good nugget of just of awesomeness that Jesus is fulfilling the prophecy already. The God's plan is in motion now, being swinging in motion. God is with us is the name. And what is the purpose for Jesus? The purpose is to save the people from their sin, because we can't do it on our own, but he came. He's the answer. And there's a huge gap between, I believe it's 800 years or 700 years between the last of the Old Testament till now. The reason why is because it's so much harder to fulfill those prophecies over that much time. It's so much easier to make a prophecy tomorrow and then fulfill it, today, the next day, or fulfill it yesterday, or have a prophecy yesterday and then fulfill it today. That's easy to do, but try doing that a year from now, 10 years from now, predicting what's going to happen. But do it a couple hundred years from now, that's that's a miracle, and that's God. So many prophecies. One of the best favorite things to do is just study the prophecies being fulfilled. Go to Old Testament, New Testament, as they mesh together. And it's all about Jesus. And we made it. Now we're here. We're in the New Testament. One more chapter to go. Matthew chapter 2. Wish y'all a Merry Christmas. And remember, it's all about Jesus. Have a good one. Bye.